Well, hello everybody, it's Murray Carter, Carter Cutlery. I'm here with the Byler family, Ed Byler and his boys, Zane, Paxton, and Zach. And we have just spent the last 2 weeks, as you can see, just having a forge fest, making as many hand-forged high-performance knives as we can within the 2 weeks that we had. And this is all part of the transition of Muteki Knives from being a Carter Cutlery company to now being a Byler company. And we've had great success. We've forged all these knives out of the traditional Hitachi white steel core, 410 stainless steel, 3-layer laminate. We've done it in the Coke forge, which sets us up for really high performance knives, really focused on control and the way we've heated the steel. And in an effort to not only maintain the excellent reputation that Muteki has established over the past 10 years, but to take it up one notch, I've actually been teaching the Byler boys how to forge these knives completely to shape right from the start. And there's a bit of a learning curve in doing that, but the result will be a superior performing knife when everybody is up and rolling in the coming weeks. So we've had a great time forging. You can see we've got some finished knives here on the table. We've got many knives that are in progress. And of course, I know the process intimately, having forged over 31,000 knives in 37 years, but it was all new. Well, Paxton's forged some knives in the past. It's all new to most of these guys. So we just go down the line here and maybe get their impression and their thoughts and their comments from the past 2 weeks. Zane, what's your favorite knife here from the table that you finished? You want to show us?
Yep. I think the favorite one that I've finished so far is this one here with the ironwood handle. I just really like the contrast coming out in the wood, and just how all that color comes out. And finishing the handle was really enjoyable to do that. There was a lot more steps involved than what I had thought there would be originally compared to making the blade of the knife. But it's a very rewarding process for sure.
What did you find difficult? What step did you find particularly difficult?
With the handle?
No, with any part of the knife making.
Well, the rough forging was definitely difficult to learn how to run the power hammer. Getting the forge to run properly was a bigger learning curve than I expected. But all in all, I think it's going to be fine to learn, and I'm really looking forward to making a bunch more.
Great. Ed, how was your experience over the past 2 weeks? Show us your favorite knife and tell us a little bit about it.
This one here is probably my favorite, partly several reasons. I have a neck knife that I really like too. But this one here, partly the handle is Belizean rosewood that's probably 40 years old from when I lived there as a kid with my folks on the mission there. And so that was it's fun to see that handle done. And but the blade itself and that whole process, that has been really rewarding and challenging too. And yet at the same time, when it's all over with and we've all forged a bunch of knives, and Murray under every watchful eye, correction and all the stopping, hey, don't do this, do that, we can do it. That's the part that I catch. We can do this, and it's going to be interesting to do this without him here, but he's right down the road, and that's really handy for us. And here in Idaho, a quick phone call and knowing that that's happening gives us courage and know that we're gonna be able to do it.
Well, it helps that you're keeping one of my dogs hostage here too.
Yeah, I got one of his best dogs he gave me. Anyway, so no, it's been a wonderful 2 weeks, and I'm excited that my boys can do this, and I did this partly for them, but as I'm doing it, man, I want to keep on doing it. And I have other things that I love to do, but this has really been rewarding.
What is that other thing that you're particularly good at, Ed?
Well, I make violins. That's what I've been doing for the last 12 years or so. And some of the handle work, the woodwork, I feel very comfortable with, even working with steel in a lot of ways. But doing it in a knife is different than a violin, but a lot of the process is the same. Hardwoods, ebony, different things I'm used to working with. And you don't tune these like you do a violin, which is kind of interesting, but
Now you carve all your violins by hand.
Everything by hand. There's
Yeah.
not hardly any machinery done on purpose, because I like the old arts, the old craft of Renaissance art, and this goes even before Renaissance. So this is even better yet. So this is right down my alley. So I love seeing the character, the hammer marks left over, just kind of hidden, but there. And I don't want all those to leave, because it's what I do in my violins too, is leave the character and the tool marks. And so this all kind of is similar.
Thank you. Paxton, you even though you're the youngest, you actually come into this experience with more background and history of knives than anybody else. Tell us a little bit about how you started, and tell us how similar this is to your old way of forging and how different it is to your old way of forging.
Well, so I started when I was about 11. We had an old coal forge that Dad had bought from the local blacksmith in Bonners when the shop closed down. I learned, mostly I started off doing it similar to a buck knife, where you cut it and grind it and shape it and then heat treat it in oil. But actually, after watching one of your videos, I started trying to hammer them out the way you did. So yeah, anymore, the only difference was fuel and the fact that I didn't have all the machinery I have access to now. So
can you show us your favorite knife from these past 2 weeks?
it's a hard choice between this one, this neck knife, and this kitchen knife. The neck knife, I really love the G10 handle on it, and just the little character it has in it. And
Now, this was an original design, right?
yes, this design was completely freestyled. And apparently it actually likes, because someone asked me to make one for him. And I love this handle design on this one for the 3-layer ironwood, blue liner, and carbon fiber in it. Yeah. Also, they shave hair quite well.
Nice. I can just get you to stop.
Let's have it.
Zach, what's your favorite knife here on the table?
Well, I have this one so far is my favorite. I think I'm going to have some more here with the handles that I'm going to really enjoy seeing how they finish. But yeah, I really like the working with ironwood. This is a little darker piece here, but I really love the different shades you get out of ironwood. This is, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to figure out some new handles coming out of this wood here. But yeah, so far this is my favorite.
Well, we haven't talked about the water quench. You guys remember back when we water quenched all 38 blades? How did you feel about the precision that's necessary in order to get just the right temperature, get that evenly heated throughout the whole blade, and soak it, and then quench it in water? Zane, what did you remember your first impressions of that?
It feels like there's a lot going on in a very specific amount of time. You have to be really methodical with it, and you can't let it overheat at all. But it's also very rewarding to know that that's what's giving the strength to the blade.
Yeah, and you guys see the connection between what Paxton just did with that shaving, that kind of an edge that can only come through water quenched Hitachi white steel. Well, I mean, there's other steels. If you water quench, can get similar, but that's the connection, is that water quench, is that forging at that low temperature, annealing it at just the right low cherry red color, cold forging it under the power hammer, and then getting it ready, coating it in clay, and then quenching it in water. Just the traditional way that the Japanese have quenched their blades for centuries now. And so, what the Byler brothers are trying to do here, and what they've committed to doing, which was a relief for me, handing them the reins, was they have committed to adhere and preserve the traditional Japanese bladesmithing techniques. And right here in Kuski, Idaho, it's a very interesting concept, but you guys are going to do great. So we've had a great time. We're wrapping up 2 weeks, and I'll be going back to Council, Idaho. But as Ed said, I'm just 2.5 hours away, and I'll come up and coach them through several more heat treating sessions, and just answer their questions in general, not only just about bladesmithing, but in running a business and taking care of the most important aspect, which is customer service and the customers. And yeah, I'm really excited for their success. And yeah, get yourself a Muteki blade and you won't be disappointed.